What's up? What's happening, folks? Welcome back to the channel, Sports, Life and Politics TV. I'm Samuel Koppel, YouTube's #1 couch detective, and I'm here for the news. And here yesterday, the legendary football player O.J. Simpson passed away. Now, I remember that case happening. I was in high school. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was my freshman year that it happened, and the trial took place during my sophomore year. Now, if you didn't really keep up with the case day by day, and you didn't really watch the case closely, you would assume that O.J. Simpson was 100% guilty and that he 100% killed Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown Simpson. But I'm here to tell you O.J. was innocent. Some people might think that I'm a crazy man, but I'm going to give you some facts before we go over these clips that actually happened of the reason why O.J. Simpson beat that murder trial. But we're going to start this video. We're going to go into this, but I want to start off by saying that O.J. didn't kill both those people. Let's take a look at the clip.
O.J. Simpson led a life filled with drama and controversy.
O.J.
An Inside Edition was there every step of the way.
If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
His truck.
Let me say this. This might be the greatest trial lawyer in the history of America. That's Johnny Cochran. He came with one of the greatest lines in the history of trials. Even white people said at the time, what a lawyer this man is. He said, if the glove don't fit, you must acquit. And I'll never forget when he had that little stocking cap hat on his head. This guy was brilliant. And before he died, he also was trying to fight for reparations for black people. So this guy right here, as you look at that on the screen, Johnny Cochran, is a national treasure in the black community. There's no doubt about it. Greatest trial lawyer, in my opinion, in history. If the glove don't fit, you must acquit. Bars.
Of his wife Nicole and her friend Ron Goldman captivated.
And let me say this about Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown Simpson. Both of those people were cokeheads. That's a fact. In the restaurant that Ron Goldman worked in, there had been several other people who worked in the restaurant who came up dead. See, those are the tidbits that people don't know. You know, I'm going to be dropping some jewels and some gems as it's gone. But both of them were cokeheads. In the restaurant that they worked in, the mob was invested in that. Not only when the mob, we know when the mob is invested in something and they're a part of something, that means the police department was invested in something. And the Los Angeles Police Department at that particular time in history was one of the most corrupt police forces in all of America. And the top cop and the leader of the charge, at least the face of it, was Mark Ferman. One of the most racist, despicable human beings in the history of police, policing.
Simpson not guilty of the crime of murder.
The verdict, one of the most watched events in TV history.
This is a day we have all waited for more than a year. The verdict on O.J. Simpson is in.
Not guilty of the crime of murder.
Oprah watched the verdict.
And as you can see, black people were celebrating all across the country. Now, black people were celebrating. I can say this because I remember the time. Most black people, I ain't gonna say most, but at least half of black people thought that he was guilty. But the celebration was because we had never seen that somebody who was presumed to be guilty by the media get off who was an actual black man. That was like, we never seen that before. So people were celebrating. They were extremely happy. But the reason why he beat that case is because there were so many pieces of reasonable doubt within the case that he had to beat it. And I'm gonna dive into it now.
On her show.
Look at Oprah was pissed. Did you see Oprah Winfrey? Oprah Winfrey was pissed. Now watch Oprah again now.
More than a year. The verdict on O.J. Simpson is in.
Not guilty of the crime of murder.
Oprah watched the verdict live on her show.
Look at Oprah. Like, how this nigga beat that? How did that nigga do that? Who is that nigga on that nad? Look at Oprah was even cooning back then. Look at Oprah. Who is that nigga? How they let that nigga get on that nad? But look at the two black people in the back of celery. Look at all the white people who are pissed. Look at the white lady down here at the bottom on the right. She just can't believe it. She like, what? They let that nigger off like that? They are sickened.
A felony upon the Cochran.
Some in her audience celebrated, but many were left in utter disbelief. Star Jones was a reporter for Inside Edition when the verdict came down and became the first journalist to interview Simpson.
I gotta be me. I can't be what other people want me to be. And it seems like people trying to force me to be this sinister person.
Suspicion followed Simpson for the rest of his life. At a civil trial in 1997, he was found liable for the deaths of Nicole and Ron. Their families were awarded $33 million. We caught up with Simpson.
Well, civil cases are a lot. You don't need as much evidence to find somebody liable in a civil trial as you do in an actual trial, an actual murder trial. So yes, he lost that trial because the public sentiment from white America was so loud that there was no way he had a snowball's chance in hell in winning that civil trial. None.
A California golf course, and he wasn't happy to see us.
You know, you ain't believe me be here, man.
He lost it. His explosive temper captured on film for all the world to see. The 46
OJ's about to go Tiger Woods on his. OJ had that golf club ready to whack the shit out of that white reporter. Messing with him about some shit he said he feel like he didn't do, which I know he didn't do that. Look, let me say this. I'm going to give you another tidbit on why I think he didn't do this. Look, he stays in Brentwood. I don't know if you guys ever been through Brentwood, Los Angeles, especially back in the early 90s. I stay in Las Vegas in Summerlin. I stay in one of the most quietest communities on the planet Earth. Brentwood is another very, very quiet community. You had two people slaughtered without no noise. They were killed simultaneously, in my opinion. But if you Google, because I couldn't put it on here, but if you Google the actual murder scene, the crime scene, they got it. You can go on, you can Google it and watch it. I can't put it up here, obviously it's too graphic. But they were killed totally separately from, she was up by the stairs, he was down by the gate. It was a nice distance between the two. They were killed simultaneously. And I'm alleging that it was done by the Los Angeles Police Department. That's what I'm alleging. Now, I'm going to give you another tidbit here in a minute on why I think it was the Los Angeles Police Department.
started dating Christy Brody, a 21-year-old model who looked a lot like Nicole. They were together on and off for 12 years. When we caught up with Brody in 2017, she and Simpson had split. She was down and out, struggling to stay off drugs.
I mean, look, we all know that black people in general age better than white people. But if you add drugs, that white woman right now on the screen could be 31 years old. And once those drugs hit those people, white women in general, they already, like, they spoil fast. So I give them credit, especially a lot of them, they get married early. Like, they don't wait to try to see if they looks go or fade. They try to get that man, lock that down, have some kids immediately. Because, buddy, majority of them, when they get a certain age, my God, they all become Karens. They maybe not in personality or attitude, but they damn showing looks. My God, they spoil fast. And I do not mean that in a racist way. That's just the honest to God truth. And all black people say the same thing. God damn, white people age fast. But as you can see, she was a cokehead. There was a lot of cocaine. Obviously, in Los Angeles, it's a drug-fueled fucking world in Hollywood. But as you can see, this lady went on to be on drugs, and they was already doing coke, but she was just younger. Hear it again.
They were together on and off for 12 years. When we caught up with Brody in 2017, she and Simpson had split. She was down and out, struggling to stay off drugs.
As soon as that lady started to even slightly look like how she's looking now, OJ was out of there. He like them young, white, and pretty. He don't like them middle-aged and washed up and drug-fueled.
You decided to end the relationship.
Yes, I did. It was just too much. And I couldn't do it anymore.
They never shied from the spotlight, granting numerous interviews, always faced with the same question.
Did you do it?
No, I didn't.
One reporter.
So do I believe OJ did it? No. Another reason. In the actual court case, Mark Ferman was on the stand. And OJ Simpson's legal team asked Mark Ferman, did you plant evidence? Do you know what this officer said on the stand? He said, I plead the fifth. What kind of answer is that in what they call the trial of the century? The biggest court case that had ever been shown on TV up until that time. He says he pleads the fifth. Why did he plead the fifth? Because Mark Ferman was a racist. Mark Ferman was a crooked cop, a dirty cop. He had planted evidence on all type of people. And yes, he also planted evidence in this case. The Los Angeles Police Department at the murder scene of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Brown trampled up and all the blood and all the shit. You supposed to let the forensic team come in, but they had all type of like botched evidence everywhere you turn. They had botched something. The Los Angeles Police Department. They messed that case up purposely because a lot of stuff was out of place. They said, well, OJ had a cut on his finger, so the cut on his finger came from him killing Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman. I said Ron Brown, yeah, but Ron Goldman. But OJ said when he got the call, I forgot where he flew to after the murders had happened. I don't know if it was Chicago, Detroit. He flew somewhere and OJ was there and he got the call that they had been murdered. OJ said he had like a glass, like a cognac glass or one of them hotel glasses, and broke the glass with his hand. And they said the cut actually looked like it came from that because it was only one cut. If you see how them people were murdered and slaughtered, OJ Simpson should have had scratches all over his face. It should have been stuff where it was no doubt left that OJ Simpson had been in a struggle with two people who were slaughtered. To be in a neighborhood that quiet and to see two people get murdered and there's no noise is impossible. Because the first thing you're going to do is say, hey, what are you doing? Let me ask you guys a question. Who do you attack first in that scenario if you one man? Do you attack the woman first or the man first? If you got any common sense, if you killing two people, you're going to attack who first? The man. You're going to get the stronger person out of the way. What does a woman do when she sees somebody being harmed? She doesn't go and try to fight and help while he's being stabbed to death 117 times. Every time he was stabbed, but it was brutal. A woman screams at the top of her lungs. If you screamed in my neighborhood, you can hear that shit at least 3 blocks all the way around because it's that quiet. And Brentwood is the same way. Okay, let's humor it and say, O.J. Simpson killed her first. Ron Goldman is just going to not say nothing. He's just going to be like, oh, he's killing her. Let me go. You're going to make a noise. You're going to alert somebody. You're going to say, hey, he's killing her. He's stabbing her. What are you doing? Even if you're going to go attack and try to help, you're going to do something. But their bodies were so far apart, it lets you know that this was a simultaneous attack.
Horrified when he pretended to stab her with a banana.
I think it was his idea of a joke.
This is Nicole's house.
Left broke, he exploited his notoriety to make a quick buck. A German TV show paid him to recreate the route he would have taken if he had murdered Nicole and Ron.
Let me say this. Don't forget. They said what? He was broke. He lost the civil trial. How much money did they say? $33 million. O.J. Simpson had no goddamn $33 million at that time. Shit, that's equivalent of $100 million today. He did not have $33 million at that time. So they took everything. So somebody told him, hey, man, we give you a couple $100,000. Show us what you would have did. O.J. like, fuck it, I didn't do it. So O.J. did that shit, man. He was broke. He's belly up. He ain't got nothing. Now, most of the friends and family and shit, most people that turned their back on, he didn't have nothing. So, of course, OJ did that shit. He was broke. If you ever want to see somebody do something demeaning or do something outrageous, check their bank account. That bitch is real low. You're liable to see something outrageous.
If we're a murderer, you do this route that I'm doing now.
In 2008, Simpson's luck ran out. He was arrested for taking part in an armed heist of a sports memorabilia dealer at a Las Vegas hotel.
And let me say this. They said it was an armed heist. OJ was taking his own stuff. OJ is the first person in the history of the United States to go to prison for taking his stuff back. They stole his stuff, and he tried to take his stuff back. And, and they found OJ Simpson guilty of that and ended up throwing him in prison for 9 years. I mean, but they were going to get their get back somehow, some way. And that was the way they got it.
In 2008, Simpson's luck ran out. He was arrested for taking part in an armed heist of a sports memorabilia dealer at a Las Vegas hotel. In court, he was a shadow of the vibrant football star he once was. 50 pounds heavier, his hair going gray, arthritis made it difficult for him to walk even a few steps. He was sentenced to 33 years in prison, but was paroled in 2017 after serving 9 years.
Hey, Twitter world, it's me, yours truly.
Picking up where he left off, living a guilt-free life.
He said living a guilt-free life. Let me ask y'all this. If you are living a guilt-free life, shouldn't you yourself actually live free? Like, if it's guilt-free, it makes no sense whatsoever. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I had to pause that. My daughter's alarm was going off. I had to go out there. But yeah, it's absolutely crazy that O.J. Simpson, they said he's living a guilt-free life. Well, shit, he didn't think he was guilty. O.J. in his heart knew he didn't do that shit. He might have knew of what was going on. He might have knew, because it was, like I said, that restaurant that Ron Goldman was working at, it was a lot of drugs and mob, and the police was in town. Everybody knew about that restaurant around there. Like I said, there was other people who died from that same restaurant.
Refusing to be humbled, never admitting what so many believe to be true.
But I want to say fair use to Inside Edition for using that video. Fair use. But hey, you guys, O.J. Simpson ain't killed both those people. And if he did, say I'm wrong. I always leave room in every video when I speak. I don't speak in absolutes. That I could be somebody else that was there with him. But me personally, I think the Los Angeles Police Department framed O.J. They had a lot of reasons to frame O.J. They hated O.J. He was out there with all those quote unquote, what they would say, good white folk. But a lot of them white folks was drug addicts and doing cocaine and God knows in Hollywood there's a lot of pedophile rings and all type of shit going on out there in the rich communities. But it's all on the hush hush and quiet and underground. But the thing is, O.J. Simpson had basically left the black race for a while. He got what they call his Negro wake-up call, and it was what it was with O.J. But O.J. most definitely didn't kill those two people. No way. And Mark Ferman, that despicable human being he was, most definitely was part of setting that up, in my opinion. Allegedly. But we know for a fact that he was framing people and that he was planting evidence because he pled the fifth on the stand. Who does that? But like I said, they trampled the crime scene. They mishandled all type of evidence. They did all type of things in this case to where O.J. Simpson should have got off and should have beat this case. But this is all, more race-related type of trial where it was white versus black, basically. And for one, it felt like black people had actually beat him and got him. But black people really didn't beat him. It was an innocent man from the beginning. But, I appreciate you guys tuning in, watching this video. I'm going to also cover this other case where this lady was into astrological signs and she killed her family right before the eclipse. I wanted to cover that. There's some things, some small little points and topics I want to go over in that case too. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. I just took your ass. Ain't no way O.J. Simpson killed two people at the same time. Ride. Peace.